Hey everybody, it's Angie. Good morning. Hi. I hope y'all are feeling well today. While I'm pulling up my chat, let me just remind you that my name's Angie Atkinson, and on this channel, I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button and we'll get going. All right. Um, Super psyched, officially announcing the summit today. So I will share information with you on that in a later video, as well as at queenbeing.com. Hoping you guys are all doing well. Good morning, Miss Colleen. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Um, and I hope you guys are as excited as I am about it. It's definitely going to be cool. I don't know why I cannot seem to pull my chat the way it needs to be pulled. Here we go. Okay. Hey, Malta's here. Hey, Malta. He says, welcome to Morning Coffee and offers advice for those who may be having technical difficulties. Abby Maldano's in the house. She says, good morning, everybody. Christy Banner says, good morning. Oh, Misty Trinkle says, morning, Angie, feeling sorry for the narc today. Why? Well, because you're a sweet person, Misty, and it's easy to feel sorry for people like them because they almost want us to feel sorry for them, don't they? But I want you, today is a perfect day, Misty, for you to look at that list if you've made it. And if you haven't, maybe make one of the reasons that you left in the first place, because that does make a difference. Yes. Mavis Washington says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss Mavis. How are you? And Ibby Sky says, good morning, everyone. Hey, Ibby. Namaste Summer is here. Says, good morning. Good morning, Namaste Summer. How are you? Let's see here. Tina Martin in the house says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tina. Malta says, good morning, Angie, Colleen, and everyone. Hey, Tommy D. He made it. I saw a message from him this morning saying he finished up, that he wasn't going to make it today because he was working on something. It would be gone till noon. So he made it anyway. That's awesome. Hey, Tommy. Ibby Sky says, great news about the website. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Very excited about that. Colleen says, good morning, Malta. And Squeakerwood is here. Squeakerwood says hello. Hello there, Squeakerwood. Welcome, welcome. Magenta in the house. She says, morning. Wi-Fi issues here today. I may be in and out. Understood. No problem. Belladonna in the house. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Belladonna. How are you? Stop the Chaos is back. And she says, very grateful today, but I'm experiencing some very, very strong withdrawal symptoms. I want to reach out and text so badly, but I keep pushing it off 15 minutes at a time. Progress. Absolutely. That's exactly how people deal with drug withdrawal too, if that helps at all. 1 minute at a time if you have to. I'm proud of you. Stick to it. Stop the chaos. You know what you want and what you don't want. And just remember, if you need to look at that list, do it, my friend. Misty says she will look at the list. She said, good idea. And she'll pull it out and remind herself. Rose Hargrove says, good morning, Angie. Good morning, Miss Rose. Welcome back, my friend. Des Mawadang, hey, says peeking in for the first time. Happy to have you, my friend. Welcome, Des Mawadang. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Tommy D says, squeaker into house. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Abby Maldano says, chaos. I've experienced that constantly to the point where I did want to leave my apartment. Where I didn't. I assume she means didn't want to leave my apartment. Yeah. Tina Martin says, narcissism is so prominent now. So many people writing books on it and such. Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way that happens, isn't it? And when I started talking about this back in gosh, I guess it was around 2005 or 2007 when I first wrote about it, there was hardly anybody talking about it. It's interesting the way it happens. Colleen says, I'm doing very well, Angie. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. She says, my phone made me a video of moments from the last 2 months. So much joy. Life really is so much better post-narc. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, Angie. My pleasure. And thank you so much for sharing that, Colleen. I hope you all see that and get a little bit of hope out of it, because I think that it's really easy when we're in the thick of it to feel like, oh my God, this is never going to get any better. I'm always going to be miserable. But Colleen here is a perfect example of someone who really has become so much happier because she removed herself from the narc. Or vice versa, I guess. And I want to tell you, I'm not going to go into all of her business, but she had to change her entire life. Almost everything except for her and her children is different than it was before she split up with the narc. The narc kind of changed her whole life when all that happened. So Hair Changes Color says, what is the cause for this narcissistic epidemic? Well, I think part of it is our society. And I think that, you know, a lot of parents aren't aware of the long-term implications of their behavior. So the people that are raising these people. Tina Martin says, and have linked it with psychopaths. Well, okay, so regarding psychopaths, all psychopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are psychopaths. Daniel Weddington says, why does my narc so different? Why are they so different with the new supply? Dresses in Nike now, never before. Well, the clothing is probably because that's what the new supply wants him to wear. And why is he so different? Well, because a lot of times narcissists take on the qualities of their supplies. They become the perfect person for that person, at least in theory. And but that doesn't change the way they behave. Ultimately, their cycle is the same. They may look different from the outside, but the cycle of supply, the cycle of love bombing and idealization, devalue, discard, hoovering, love bombing, idealization, devalue, discard, hoovering is the same. It doesn't change. If that's helpful at all, Danielle. I lost my place. Hold on. Okay. All right, let's see here. Madeline. Hey, Madeline. Welcome back. Madeline Gutierrez. She says, good morning, Angie and roomies. Question, is it possible for narc to recover? No. If so, how? I'm a believer and I have seen many of them recover from other addictions. Advice. Okay. So first of all, Madeline, is it possible? Maybe. Have I ever seen it? No. I believe the only way that they could recover is to discover and heal their core wound. In most cases. I think in some cases they were just raised by parents who spoiled the crap out of them and didn't pay enough attention. So they had a lot of stuff and a lot of freedom, but they didn't have a lot of love. And I think in some cases they were created by parents who were very much like the same parents who created us. And you will see this sometimes in a family. You'll see one child or multiple children go narcissistic and the rest go, codependent or whatever, empathic. It depends on how they choose to deal with it at the time. And children, they just do what they can do. Yeah. I don't think that it's really possible for them to recover. Like I said, there's even a doctor Dr. David Hawkins claims that he's curing narcissists, but I've actually talked to a couple of his patients' spouses, and they have confirmed for me that they're not actually changing. They're just doing behavior modification. So like they might, for example, you're supposed to tell your wife she's beautiful every day. So they might be like, you're beautiful. They don't mean it. You know what I mean? It's just all behavior modification. And according to what the wives have said to me, they were both wives. I think he only works with male narcissists. They will have to, for the rest of their lives, be going to his therapy in order to stay on task. So Tommy D says, that's wonderful, Colleen. Way to go. Kudos, freedom. Jillian's in the house. She says, good morning. Des is fine. Okay, thank you, Des. Appreciate you. Abby Maldonado says, I'm trying to break free. He noticed that, and now he's dog whistling. But I feel stronger now because I see it for what it is. I'm more mad at myself. I understand completely, Abby. But don't be mad at yourself. Stay stronger. Keep learning, keep focusing. You're in that, I think, in that maybe near the end of the understanding phase and in toward the overcoming phase, right? Because you now know what you're dealing with and you're educating yourself on it. So you're making some real progress here. Yep. Malta says, good morning to Jillian. And Abby, don't beat yourself up about it. My God, you've just, there are so many layers to this. You're doing the very best you can. Give yourself a break, girl. Just keep moving forward if you can. MMH is back. Hey, MMH, welcome back, my friend. Good morning, y'all, says MMH. And Tommy says, I'm so happy narcissism has come to people's awareness. Now the narcs will evolve. We hope. At least the people around the narcs can evolve so they don't have to continue to get the abuse. Oh, Magenta says, hey, I can hear Angie. Woot, woot, woot. Love it, love it. Hey, girl, hey. Okay, Dana Marie Scarletti says, so happy to be chilling with everyone. It's been a rough week. Finding my way in my newfound freedom. Can't freaking wait for my laptop replacement. That will help a lot with normalizing, certainly. And while I'm going through these comments, let me just remind you guys, today is Thankful Thursday. Today I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for my healthy family, my children, my home, everything, the food in the kitchen, all this stuff. So I would love it if you guys would throw in what you're grateful for today in the comments, all right? Let's see here. And Dana Marie, I do think that the laptop will probably help. And I know it's hard with the newfound freedom. Sometimes you feel like, well, what am I supposed to do now? But you'll get it. You'll get it. Tina Martin says, hair changes color. I know, maybe people just didn't do enough research or didn't know how to understand the behavior of how people are abused. I think that's a very insightful point, my friend. Stop the Chaos says, I find myself preoccupied with what's going on in his life when I go low contact. It's hard to turn that off. I know I need to get a life, start or keep working on mine. Yeah, and I don't want you to keep beating yourself up so much. Definitely you want to be focusing on yourself and not him. But look, you spent a lot of time with him, and there's a learning curve. Remembering that it's an addiction, remembering that you are, sort of in the process of redeveloping your whole self. Give yourself a break. Just do the best you can, one step at a time, one day at a time. I really like that you're doing it 15 minutes at a time. I think that's really smart. Jay Meeby says, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, Miss Jay Meeby, and welcome back. Malta says, good morning, Jay Meeby. Ray Caldwell's in the house and says, have you ever met a narc with Asperger's? Craziness. I have not personally met a narc with Asperger's that I'm aware of, but I will tell you this. A lot of times people mistake someone with Asperger's for a narcissist because they don't really understand the person. I've done a video about that, Ray. You might want to check it out. Just type the word Asperger's into my channel search bar and you'll find it. Jake Tyler says, hello and good morning, everyone. Hey, Jake, welcome, welcome. He says, this is my first time on live chat, but I've been watching you for a while now. Well, thank you. He says, I want you to know you have saved my life, and I'm so grateful for what you're doing. Thank you very much, Jake. I really appreciate that, and I'm happy to have you today in the chat. Miss J. Meeby says, happy Thursday, Malta. Sue Cronert's in the house. She says, good morning. Good morning, Miss Sue. How are you? Dana Marie Scarletti says, oops, I lost my place. Bear with me, y'all. Okay. I'll find it. Sometimes the chat jumps on me, All right, let's see. Dana Marie Scarletti says, running on zero sleep, so I'm just going to listen instead of ramble. Hugs, love, and blessings to all. Hugs and kisses. This group is so important. I appreciate you all so much more than you know. Big hugs, Dana, and thank you. I think it's important for you to have rest, and I'm glad that you'll still be here with us listening. Tommy D says, way to go, Dana, and hi, JB. Magenta says, Jake, welcome to the tribe. Yes, indeed. Welcome to the tribe, my friend. Breon Garner says, good morning with his beautiful face. Good morning, Breon. How are you, honey? I'm glad to see you today. Malta says, hi, Jake. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. Bonnie says, I see that narcissists continue to up the ante while you try to gray rock. Ooh, my nose is itchy. The narc baits you into arguments at almost every turn. That's true sometimes. But if you hold out, they get bored and move on eventually. But certainly they do try to up the ante. And certainly when they first find out, when they first realize that you're gray rocking or that you're intentionally not reacting to them, they will try to provoke a reaction. That's absolutely true. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Stop the Chaos says, the absence makes me question that maybe he's not as bad as I think. I read the list. It feels distant and maybe inaccurate, but I know it's not. And you know what? That's a very common thing. And I want you guys to listen carefully to this. So when we are away from the narcissist, it's really easy. I mean, it can happen the same day sometimes. It's really easy to go, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I can go ahead and put up with it. Maybe I can go ahead and keep dealing with it because I miss the familiarity. I miss the comfort, and there is, what do they say about the wolf you know and the wolf you don't know, right? There is a certain amount of comfort with them, because we know that somewhere in there is we've seen someone who is a nice person, we thought, and because there are certain things that make it more comfortable. Anytime you've been with anybody for any amount of time and your life has to change, it sucks, even if it's not simple. Does that make any sense? Even if it's not really a good thing that they're in your life, there's still the familiarity factor, and then the absence makes the heart grow fonder thing is true, true, true. I remember with my ex-husband, I decided to leave him a week before I did, which was so hard, but I had to wait till people could come and help me, and I knew that if I didn't get all my stuff out in one fell swoop, it would not be good. And so I knew ahead of time. I started packing, and during that week, of course, he behaved like the perfect husband. The night before I left him, we slept hand in hand, and I cried and cried and cried when I left him. But I still knew I was doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, even though it is not easy to do it, in the long run, that you know, the badness is real, and it will continue as long as you stick around. Even if it gets better for a minute, it's still going to continue. And so that's why I think we leave when we do. Nick Bro says, hi, Ange. Hi, Tribers. Hey, Nick. How you doing? Welcome back, honey. Jamie B said, oops, dang it. Oh, good. I didn't go too far this time. Jamie B says, stop the chaos. I found myself thinking about what he's doing and with whom. Also, when I haven't talked to him in a while. Yeah, that's totally normal. It is. And that's the important thing, I think, is that we have to remember that it's normal to feel that way. It's normal to go through that. And yeah. Cindy Minton says, good morning, y'all. Can't stay. Hope you have a good day. Well, Cindy, thank you for coming in anyway. We appreciate you, honey. And I hope you have a good day. Colleen Brosnan says, Tommy says, thank you so much, Tommy D. I promise you all, it really does get better. I remember who I am now, and I'm an even better version than before. Hang in there, everyone. You really do got this. It's really true. And Colleen, thank you so much for your amazing support of your fellow survivors. Renee Goodell's in the house. She says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Miss Renee. And Jamie says, Tommy. Love it. Abby Maldonado says, I found his playlist on YouTube. He listens to ASMR of women breathing on him, kisses, ugh. And he mentions her. I decided not to care, whereas before I'd see that and do anything he wanted. Isn't that interesting? Abby, what is your plan? Do you have a plan to get out, or what's your situation? Malta says, Cindy Minton, have a great day. Christy Banner says, what bothers me is I was told he was a narc. When I looked into the descriptions of what it was told, I was told really did not do it justice. Christy, give me a little bit more information on that. I think I misunderstood something there. Prakara07 is back. Hey, Prakara. She says, good morning, Angie. The more time goes by, the more I understand and realize the enormity and unprovoked insidiousness that the female narcs subjected me to. Even Satan can't match them. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. And female, male, it doesn't really matter. They're all very, very toxic and at varying levels, for sure. As Tommy says here, there's no recovering from evil, only repentance, which is rare, right? Renee Goodell says, I had emotional purging right after the reality of yesterday. How did that go? Are you feeling any relief at all, or are you just feeling empty right now? Let me know. Christina Petro said, I feel sad for my ex-narc. I don't think he can help the way he is. Well, maybe not. But is it worth your life being miserable for his personality disorder? I mean, I know that might sound selfish, but honestly, I don't want to give up my whole life for somebody else's personality disorder. Do you? It would be different if there was a medicine they could take or something that would change their behavior, but there isn't, at least not one that I've found to be effective in anyone that I've ever seen try anything. But if somebody knows something other than that, let me know. Tina Martin says, I'm thinking my narc has to be a psychopath at this point. I don't know what stops me every time from calling to file a restraining order. I can't wait until he's all the way left me alone. Well, what might stop you is fear. But if you really think he might be a psychopath, you really might want to consider it. I don't know if David H. is here. I know Jillian is, but she usually can't type too much in the morning. She's on her way to work probably. But if anyone has advice for Tina on a restraining order, please, let's hear it. Bonnie says, my narc came from two alcoholics who eventually divorced. Well, there you go, Bonnie. That would explain a lot about his life and his personality disorder. Arisbell Pagan is back. Hey, Arisbell, how you doing? Says, good morning. Just got back from a 10-day trip to Mexico. Awesome. She said, much needed time away from my life. Only thing missing was being able to hang out with you guys. Oh, well, I'm so glad you're back. Welcome back, honey. Jamie B says, oh, Renee, I hope it helped a little. How are you feeling now? Agreed. Good question. Oh, here, Renee says, thanks, Angie and everyone, for your support, despite it being a difficult day for me. We're always happy that you're here, Renee, and I'm always happy to support you, and I know so are the rest of our survivors. Bethley Cooper is here. She says, good morning, Angie. It's 8 of us. My sister is a narc. She picks only on me, devalue, belittle, badmouth to others. Why is that? It's a good question. If she's the only one who is a narcissist in the family, there are a variety of possibilities. I guess I would have to know more about her and you. But my guess is that she's probably threatened by you in some way or has been in the past. I mean, this is ridiculous, but I've talked to people who are, in horrible relationships with their siblings, and their siblings quite literally were just mad they were born and have been mad since. It's very, very unfortunate. And it's very toxic. Namaste Summer says, my father is 90 and he's still the same as he was at 30. Yeah, that's pretty common. They don't change, do they? Nick Bro says, I think narcs and alcoholics are so hard to distinguish. Well, that's an excellent point. What I have seen is that a lot of alcoholics, most addicts of anything, whether we're talking about alcohol, drugs, or something else, gambling, they are so addicted to their thing that they do behave exactly like narcissists. But what happens is that when they recover, a certain amount of them aren't really narcissists. It's the drug makes them behave that way, or the addiction. When they begin to recover from their addiction, certainly, some of them are still narcissists, but some of them aren't. It's interesting. The thing is that empaths sometimes, the world is really ugly for us. And when we really look hard around us and we see all the disgustingness in this society and all of the things that we wish weren't. And, as a parent, I find that I'm even further disgusted by our society as my children are growing up, and the things people say and the things that are available to people today that weren't available to people when I was a kid, thanks to our phones and everything else. It's scary, and you have to really be on top of it. And I think a lot of addicts are actually empaths underneath all of that. And they're just so sensitive to this horrible society. I'm not saying the whole society is horrible, okay? I'm saying there are elements of our society that are horrible and disgusting. And I think that a lot of empaths end up addicted to something just to, sort of numb out a little bit. And this, of course, is increasingly happening when we have narcissists in our lives. So it's like we have to really intentionally choose our vibration. So you made a good point there, Nick Bro. Misty Trinkle says, me too, Christina. I'm getting a divorce and I truly believe he doesn't understand why. Well, again, you could try to explain it to him, Misty, but you're going to just find yourself feeling like you're banging your head against a brick wall in most cases if he's really a narcissist. Yeah. Jamie B says, oh, Arisbell's super awesome. Are you feeling recharged? Christy Banner says, we went to therapy together and I was told he is unable to change. I was also told he was dangerous and to leave because he would kill me. Okay, sweetheart. Then you know what you need to do. I mean, if a therapist said that to you, take it seriously. I don't want to hear about you on the news in a bad way, okay? Please, please take it seriously and take care of yourself, my friend. Let's see here. Hope Bradford's in the house, and she says, you can't grow a conscience, and that is the damn truth, sadly. Renee Goodell says, I feel better today. Slaughtered legs with my coach, so it was a good release. That's great news, Renee. I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, certainly, exercise is a huge and important part of recovery if you can do it, because it, helps raise endorphins and all that stuff, but also because it just makes you feel better in general, and the healthier your body is, the better your mind feels. We all know that, right? Renee Goodell says, I already said that one. Okay, sorry guys. Bonnie says, my narc seems to be getting more and more angry and short-tempered. Oh gosh, well, and that is common, especially when they feel like they're about to lose, right? Yeah. Emily Driftwood says, hey everyone, I hope you're all well. Hey girl, hey, how you doing, Emily? I'm glad to see you today, honey. Tina Martin says, I heard that going to therapy with narcs is pretty much hopeless. Yes. They trick the therapist even sometimes. They do. And some therapists aren't familiar with NPD or narcissistic abuse, and so they victim blame. It's terrible. And I went to therapy with my narcissist once, and the therapist actually did see through him, but because the narcissist was so defensive, we ended up where he was standing up screaming cuss words, and the therapist was also triggered apparently, and was also standing up screaming cuss words, and we never went back. So, yeah. If the therapist does get it and tries any kind of just, what I think it's Gestalt or Gestalt therapy, they where they kind of are in their faces, that never works. Yeah. And they definitely are able to smoothly trick therapists sometimes. A schmooze is the word I was looking for. And especially those who aren't familiar with NPD, which are a surprising number, believe it or not. Magenta says to Christy, whoa, that's scary. I totally agree with Magenta on that one. MMH says, is it possible for a codependent to become narcissistic or sick and dangerous like a narcissist? How do you deal? Certainly it's possible. But in most cases where you might be picking up tendencies, like I believe when I first left home, I may have been behaving like a narcissist in some cases, in some ways, because of the relationship that I saw with my mother and her situation with her husband. She was the queen of the whatever, and she ended up. I thought that's how relationships were supposed to be. So until I learned otherwise, I may have been a little pushy, and I realized it wasn't me, but it was something that I was doing, that I was just imitating what I grew up with. So it's certainly possible to appear narcissistic, and it's also certainly possible to become narcissistic. But I think that if it happens, what you have to do is, self-awareness. The biggest thing you have to remember is this: the tipping point. Everyone's a narcissist. Everyone has self-interest, which is the most basic definition of narcissism. But when we're getting toward the NPD end of the scale, on the spectrum, as it were, we're looking at people who do not have empathy for people around them. I don't care how many selfies you take. I don't care how much time you spend on your makeup or anything like that. My biggest thing, and the tipping point for a toxic person, is the lack of empathy, in my opinion. Stop the Chaos says, yesterday I tried ice skating for that first time. That's amazing. Something I've wanted to do with him for years. I was nervous, but I did it, and it was so refreshing not to think of him. I wish that feeling would last. Well, honey, the feeling can last. You just have to keep going forward. Keep doing those things that you want to do, but you couldn't do with him. The things that maybe you put on hold forever because he was like, I want to do that with you, but never would do it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's excellent that you went ice skating. Good for you. Freedom Lee says, good morning, Angie and beautiful survivors. Hey, Freedom Lee. She says, I believe narcissists get worse as they get older. Like actors, they pretend to be something they aren't. Fake people, sick. That might be true. I have not seen narcs get better as they get older. I've seen them either remain the same or, as you said, actually get worse. And I think those who are, of the histrionic type, or those who count on their looks as part of their shtick, are certainly more likely to get worse as they get older, because they're no longer able to get the same attention they could when they were younger. Yeah. Jay Maybe says, yes, Renee. Yes. Christy Banner says, and he almost did kill you. Are you still there, honey? Let me know. Abby Maldonado says, last week my narc asked me for $80. I didn't want to give it to him. He's like, oh, I can just go to my ex and she'll give it to me. But this time I stood my ground. I'm not giving him any more money. I'm proud of you. Good for you, Abby. Don't give him your money. That's ridiculous. Magenta says, Christy, I'm glad he didn't, as am I. Malta says hello to Emily. Good morning. Christy says, hey, Magenta. Oh, she says, me too, Magenta. Yeah. Danielle Whittington says, thank you so much. He all is buying her jewelry, but yet tells me he has no money when I ask him to do more for his kids. And then he pays me child support. He doesn't even do much when he has our kids. I'm not surprised, because to a narcissist, children are just an extension of themselves, or objects that they don't really consider human. I know that sounds weird, but they feel the same way about their primary source of supply, as I'm sure we can all relate to. Abby Maldonado says, I am. I spent so much money on this guy. I'm so thankful for the vids and all the awareness out there. I'm so happy to hear that, Abby. And you don't deserve that, my friend. You definitely do not. Jamie B says, I feel like a narc sometimes because I crave his attention still. And then I'll talk to him, all the realization of what an ass he is comes back in and I'm good. Yeah, helpful. Um, Jamie B, you're not a narc. And, the realization of what an ass he is important. Jamie B is still going through her divorce, and so she has to deal with him for legal issues. And I'm glad that that's helpful, honey, for you to have those, realizations. Oh, Tommy D says, I meant evolve as in to become more covert, sneakier. Yep, for real. I could see that. Of course, most narcissists don't recognize that they're narcissists and wouldn't even if you put a list of symptoms down in front of them. I've seen that. Mavis Washington says, I decided to take the bus to work today because since I left my narcissist, my self-esteem has gone very low and I had myself in a car. But just took a long walk to the bus terminal today and feel good about it. I'm so glad to hear that, Mavis. Good for you. Nick Bro says, grateful for my son, my family, and my one friend left. I feel you. Yes, indeed. Okay, here's our gratitudes, people. Oh, MMH says grateful for indoor plumbing. Very important stuff. I am also grateful for indoor plumbing. Irish Indian says, good morning, tribe. And Angie Atkinson, good morning. Irish Indian, she says, I told my narc last night that there is no future for us. Good for you. How did that go? Let me know. And Malta says, MMH, that's awesome. Yes, indeed, my friend. Jillian says, awesome, Malta. Bonnie says, I'm thankful for living in the United States and thankful that my sweet soft kitties, ooh, I love my soft kitties too, and lovely dog, and thankful for everyone here today. Awesome. Christy Banner says, I'm thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I can leave. I'm thankful that I finally get it. I'm thankful that I have the strength and the goals. The goals keep me from thinking about him. Oh, Christy, I'm so proud of you, and I really do hope that you do leave because I'm very concerned about your safety at this point. Madeline Gutierrez says, I'm grateful for you and the people in this room and for all the blessings that I can now see since the narc is gone from my life. Excellent. I love that, Madeline. You're such a sweetheart and you're so absolutely on point there with all the blessings you can see now that the narc is gone from your life. Tommy D says, no contact is doable. Remember why you're at this point and how you got here. Excellent. Sue Cronert says, grateful that I had a way to get a new car, although it's a used one. Who cares if it's a used one? It's a car that gets you going from A to B. That's a good thing, my friend, and congratulations on that. Tammy Kingery says, good morning, everyone. Hey, Tammy, how you doing, honey? Welcome back. Rick Mash says, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Rick. He says, I have an hour drive ahead of me, so I can't really type, so I'm just going to listen. Wait a minute, I lost my place. Hey, when that happens, hold on, I'm going to get back to it. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're almost there. Rick Mash, where are you at? Oh, there we go. Rick Mash. He says, hour drive ahead of me, so I can't really type. I'm going to be the creepy guy in the back just listening today. Well, we're happy you're here, Rick. Rose Hargrove says, I'm grateful for these live sessions and for friends that are now like family, all that I have and the new things I'm learning. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, look, Angela Scabelin is back. Hey, girl, hey. She says, hi, my friends. Life is great without the narc. Grateful for freedom to choose. Love that. Very good point, my friend. Ava Mullen is here, and she says, I'm grateful for my children because without wanting better for them, I don't think I would have had the strength to kick him out. I got to be honest with you, my children were definitely the reason in both cases that I went no contact with narcissists. Yeah. And I hate to say that because the fact is that it shouldn't matter. It should have been about me, but I didn't know that back then. So I thank you, Ava. Magenta says, gratitude list, you guys, Wi-Fi. My husband's new job that brings him home each night, first time in 7 years. Excellent. My kids, Queen Bee, coffee mug. Yay, my Queen Bee and coffee mug. That's awesome. Rhonda Fairman says, I'm grateful that I met the narc, the friend that was so textbook narcissistic that I could recognize him for what he was, even though it took me 2 years. My spouse is more covert. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, I feel you, Rhonda. Tommy D says, something about narc Asperger's. Oh. Stop the Chaos says, is it normal to have a plan for the day, but then abandon it to just sit still doing nothing? I'm grateful for the soft pillow I've soaked with tears this morning. Brief crying Jack, I'll be okay. Listen, I want you guys to know this. Yes, that is normal. And I'll tell you what, when I was going through the deepest parts of the abuse, I still today need to be alone for at least 1 hour a day, right? But when I was going through the deepest part of the abuse, certainly it would be normal for me to have a plan for the day and then sit and do nothing. And part of the reason was because anytime I was not next to the narcissist, I just felt like I had to hurry up and relax, because the minute the narcissist was around, I was on edge the whole time. So yeah, definitely not abnormal. And sometimes you just need to sit still and do nothing, stop the chaos. That's okay. Just don't let it go on for too long, because if you do, you're going to regret it. Give yourself an end date for that. All right. And then if you occasionally need to have a moment, go have a moment. It's okay. But try to set an end date on the long-term crying. But it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel your feelings. You probably spent a lot of time hiding your feelings and not really focusing on what you needed to focus on too, Yeah. Malta says, I'm grateful to have received a good night's sleep. That is amazing news, my friend, and it always helps me feel better. I didn't get as much sleep as I would have liked to last night, but I got more than I have in the past, so that's something. Emily Driftwood says, I'm grateful for my family, my love, my pets, and my health. And I'm grateful for the positive people I surround myself with. That is excellent, Emily. Magenta says, Tommy, you're so silly. Clash Track says, shout out to Mike Hawk. Don't know who that is, sorry. Does anybody know who Mike Hawk is? Jillian says, I'm grateful today that I am late to work and have a job at all. Big hugs, Jillian. She says, so happy that I'm not crying all the time like I did a year ago. I don't know why it took so long to heal, but I cried for a year. Well, there are many reasons, and I'm glad that you're not crying now, my friend. I am. Amy Goudry says, hey, Amy. She says, your videos are like therapy to me. Thank you for all of your insight. My pleasure, and thank you for being here today, Amy. Welcome to the tribe. Nick Bro says, Tommy, nothing like a shirtless Putin. Are you saying Putin? I don't know. Jamie B says, I am thankful for another wonderful day, being happy and healthy with all of my blessings. That is beautiful, my friend. Yes, indeed. Jillian says, I guess there was a lot to heal. Exactly, my friend. Crystal Young is here, and she says, I really love your advice and support. Thank you so much, Crystal, and welcome. Magenta says to Rick, good morning, creeper. Nice. Tommy D says, you got to keep up your laughter and sense of humor instead of being sucked into negativity. He is absolutely correct. That is the truth all day long. Tina Martin says, oops. Yeah, Tina. Oh, geez. Okay. Should be so much easier to navigate this little chat thing. I don't know. Okay. There she is. Tina Martin says, grateful for all of you and you, Angie. Thankful that you do things for us at low cost, no cost, taking time out of your day to love on us, or hear us out, even if you were tired, etc. You bless us, and you'll continually feel like I'm missing part of that. Thank you, Tina. That means a lot to me. It really does. Emily Driftwood is laughing at Tommy. Tommy is pretty funny. Tammy Kingery says, Tommy D, the last narc blocked me off my old profile this morning. I'm depressed about it. Why? Well, sweetie, because it's just a change. I think it's one of those deals where, even though we don't want it, we still sort of want to know about it. And it's normal. It's human to feel that way. So admitting it out loud is a big step toward letting go of it. Yeah. I think a lot of times we aren't even able to verbalize or recognize our feelings like that, because we feel kind of ashamed of feeling that way. Like, we know we shouldn't feel that way, but we do anyway. So I think good point. Okay. Bringing it up is important, and acknowledging it is important. Now you can begin to release it. Magenta says, Tommy, ain't that the truth? Yes. Freedom Lee says, thankful I got a good night's sleep, and my daughter comes back on Saturday. Oh, good, Freedom Lee. I'm so happy to hear that. How's she feeling? Is she doing any better on her little vacay? Tina Martin says, you'll be blessed for it. Love you, Angie. Love you all. Oh, thank you so much, Tina. Big hugs and love to you, my friend. It means a lot to me. I hope you know that. Nick Bro says, good morning, Magenta. Irish Indian says, I'll finally be able to really start healing. That is a beautiful thing, my friend. Magenta says to Nick Bro, good morning. Jamie says, absolutely, Tommy. Laughter is the best medicine. Yes, indeed. And you guys are all going to laugh on Friday if I ever get around to finishing my Ice Ice Baby parody. Hair Changes Color says, today I am thankful for the law of attraction and moving forward in my life without the narc, being independent and what the future holds. All beautiful things, my friend. Excellent. Oh, look, Shastina's back. Hey, Shastina, how you doing, honey? She says, good morning. And Malta says, good morning, Shastina. Crystal Young says, you have to laugh because they are a joke, ain't they, though? Yeah. And it's funny. I find that knowing what you're looking at and then watching them, play out the patterns so clearly is it's almost funny. Yeah. Namaste Summer says, I am thankful for finding myself again. I have the energy to help others to think of something else besides him. Good stuff. Tammy Kingery says, to Hair Changes Color, good for you, girl. Tina Martin says, hair changes color. Have you read or watched The Secret? I find that to be quite a good little movie and book. I have both. Unseen Melly is here. Hey, Unseen Melly. She says, hi, been gone a while. Finally, his narc mom has moved out. But as for me, I'm dealing with the never-ending silent treatment. I'm planning my frigging escape. Good for you, honey. Good for you. Jake Taylor says, thank you to everyone who welcomed me. I'm so glad to be here with all of you working through these things together. It helps with the lonely feelings. I totally feel you, Jake. That's why we do this. Yeah. Tommy D says he's taunting and poking your emotions, Tammy. Don't give him any more of your emotional energy. We only get so much each day. Spend it elsewhere. He is not worth it. That's true. That's really, really true. And that's a very good point that you made, Tommy D, because we do only have a certain amount of emotional energy every day. And as empaths, we can't even help it. Sometimes we're walking around in the world and we accidentally feel somebody else's feelings, right? Don't waste your energy on them. And not only your energy, but your time. Since doing what I do, my time is incredibly precious to me because I don't have very much of it. It feels like sometimes, because between all the things that I'm creating for you guys and then raising the kids and doing all the things and then the coaching calls, like I don't even get to watch TV. That's okay with me because I'm driven by a force bigger than myself to do what I do, and I love what I do. But I certainly don't waste time on people who don't have anything positive to say, in the world. Anybody that is only out there just to be negative and hateful, they don't even cross my radar. I'm too busy for them, and time and energy are incredibly precious. You can't get those things back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sorry about this. So that's what that is. Okay, let's see here. Excellent point. Let's see. Wait, I lost my spot. Okay. Bonnie says, I've often thought about that my narc had Asperger's. His emotional IQ is very low and he overreacts. Temper tantrums. But he's also Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde manipulative, so I know he's a narc. Here's the thing about people with Asperger's. I mean, ultimately what the bottom line is, they have empathy. They don't always know how to show it, but they have it. And that's just watch that video that I made about that. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I went into some more detail there, but I know people who have children who have Asperger's, and I know adults who have Asperger's, and it's not the same. It's not the same. Similar looking from the outside, but when you know the person, it's not the same. Yeah. Mavis Washington says, this group is very helpful in my life, and my life is very awesome now. I love that, Mavis. I love it so much. Christy Evans says, so thankful for my healing process from narcissistic abusive marriage. Thank God for all of my blessings, you included. Broke no contact yesterday. Big mistake. He manipulated yet again. Still learning. Well, you know what? It's not a bad thing that you went through that. It sucks, but it's a good thing because it reminds you of why you're staying away. I'm happy for you and I'm proud of you that you saw that. I'm sorry that you had to go through it, but now that you saw that he manipulated you once again, you're on the right page. You know exactly, okay, so you dipped your toe in the water and the water was yucky. So you're pulling your toe back out, you're moving forward, right? Proud of you. Keep going, girl. Magenta says, Tina, The Secret, great read. Haven't seen the film yet. Was it good? Girl, the film was even better than the book. I mean, the book is just basically the film. But the film is very inspiring, in my opinion. Hair Changes Color says, nope, I just listened to Angie and read a few of the books that she wrote. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. She read a few of the books that I wrote. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Ellen Dilly says, Angie seems like a narcissist has such a way of creating chaos. Hey, Ellen, in our lives. It is hard to keep up with their deception. I'm learning so much lately. I'm so ready to go. Yeah, it's interesting when you start to learn about it and then you can see them, you know, like I said, repeating those patterns and doing the same thing every other narcissist does. And then you have to realize, okay, wait a minute, it's not really me. I'm not really crazy. You know, I'm glad that you're learning that, Ellen, and I'm sorry that you're stuck in it right now, but I'm so happy that you're ready to go. And I hope that you're able to be, I hope you're able to start planning your escape. Yeah. Bruce Left is back. Hey, Bruce Left, welcome back. Says, hey, everyone. Misty Trinkle says, thank you for what you do, Angie. It is such a comfort during the hard times. Thank you so much, Misty. It really does mean a lot to me. And that's why I keep coming back. Tommy D says, go gray rock on him. I guarantee he'll come back and hoover you. Yeah, that's definitely, I would definitely go gray rock. And yeah. Nick Bro says to Christy Evans, way to go in healing from abusive marriage. Hope to get there myself. You will. You will. Stay focused. Tina Martin says magenta books are typically better. Yeah, books are typically better, but in the case of The Secret, the film was very inspiring. It was done. It was well done, I thought. You know, I think I actually saw the film before I read the book, which does make a difference. But I think that even after reading the book, I still liked the film. Just my personal opinion. Brianne Garner says narcs are so good at faking being a good person that it's very easy to get caught in the memory of the fake good, forgetting their disgustingly evil ways. That's the truth. That is a very excellent point. I want to read that again for you guys, okay? Brianne says, narcs are so good at faking being a good person that it's very easy to get caught in the memory of the fake good, forgetting their disgustingly evil ways. I think that's very well said, and I think that's the damn truth. Good for you, Brianne. Thank you for sharing that, my friend. Tommy D says, wow, thanks, Colleen. Tammy Kingery says, Tommy D, okay, I'm going to keep telling myself that today. Good for you. Susan Cronert says, you all have a great day and evening and hang in there. Thank you, Sue. Magenta says to Tina, I totally agree. Belladonna says, how do I stop attracting narcs? Oh, honey. Well, the first thing you do is you begin to set boundaries for yourself, and you have a list of things that you will and will not tolerate, or things that you won't tolerate. I call them deal breakers. So for me, in my relationship, those things have always been, don't hit me, don't hit my kids or hurt my children, and don't cheat on me. If any of those things happen, I'm out. No discussion. Anything else, we'll talk about it. But if you hit me or cheat on me or hurt my children, I'm out. And I think that's something to do, is have your own deal breakers, set the boundaries and stick to them, and start feeling stronger in yourself. You know, don't openly beat yourself up. Don't tear yourself down to other people. When you are meeting a new person, don't tell them your whole life story instantly. Make them wait for it. Make them earn it. Wait till you know and trust them, because you remember with narcissists, they get us to tell us their whole life story at the beginning, our whole life story at the beginning, and then they use it against us later. They think of all the pain points they can think of and poke us with them to hurt us and make us think we're crazy. So that's the start. Yeah, I've done entire videos on this as well, Belladonna. You might want to check those out on my channel. Rose, and I will be happy to do more if you need them. Just let me know. Rose Hargrove says, also need to say I'm grateful for the courageous people here. Beautiful, my friend. And we're grateful for you too, Miss Rose. Magenta says to Colleen, I second that, and we can only go up from here. Right, exactly. Jake Tyler says, my narc left me for someone else, and all of my stuff is still at her house. She's already moved on with a new supply. I'm stressing going to face the narc to get my stuff back. Well, Jake, here's a couple of options. Number one, you could have somebody go with you, or number two, you could have somebody else go instead of you. Number three, have the police show up with you, and you go in and get your stuff and get out right away. Don't even speak to the narc. A couple different things you can do. Number four, if it's stuff that you really want, I understand wanting to go get it, but if it's stuff that you can replace, then maybe you don't want to bother with it. It's just stuff. You know what I mean? It just depends on what your stuff is. I guess all of your stuff is a lot of stuff. That's crazy that she's already moved on, and I'm so sorry for that. I would suggest having the police go with you, or a good friend that you trust, maybe, to get it all. Nick Bro says, Rose Hargrove, thank you. And Mavis Washington says, they are so cunning, it is so hard to put a finger on their behavior. Narc abuse is abuse. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. That's absolutely right. Um, Belladonna says, I feel like I have a big narc wanted bullseye on my head. Sweetie, I have been there, my friend. I have been there. And like Magenta says, and like I said, you start with boundaries. Yeah. Boundaries and loving yourself enough to not accept any shit that you don't deserve. Pardon my language. Yeah. It took me a long time to get there. It did. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I was like instantly okay. It takes time. That's why I've done so many videos on self-esteem and self-love and things like that, because you have to love yourself enough to do that. You have to love yourself enough to set boundaries. You can do this. Stick with us, Belladonna. We'll help you get there. Magenta says to Belladonna, yeah, I already said that one. Okay. Tommy D says, Tammy, it is textbook. His moves. Keep educating. Wait a minute. Keep educating yourself. Yep. And you'll see him doing these techniques and recognize exactly what he's doing or trying to do to you. Tommy, you are on fire today, my friend. Stop the Chaos says, thank you, everyone. I'm very grateful for the comments and Angie's advice. Angie's comment helps a lot. It's hard, but it's the right thing. I can do this. I know you can. I know you can. Oh, look, it's DIY Pinterest, aka my business manager and BFF, Melina, in the house. She says, hey, girl, I thought I would pop on and say hi since I never have been to a live session from this side. I love you to the moon and back. Ditto. Ditto, ditto. All right. Melina has been working her ass off for me recently with helping me get this summit together, and I really am grateful for her as well. Christy Evans says, thanks, Nick, bro. You will get there. I have a long way to go. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But you can get there, Christy. And you know what? Stick with us and we'll help you. Okay. Misty Trinkle says, oh, I feel for you, Jake. Observe, don't absorb. Yes, yes, yes. Melissa Duncan says, Angie, I'll have internet in the next few days and can join in. Hope all is well with you. Oh, big hugs, Melissa. I'm so happy to hear that. And all is okay for me right now. I hope all is well with you, or it will be soon. Yes. All right, let's see here. Nick Bro says, Christy Evans, and says, I got so sick of getting the cops involved. I feel you, but you have to take care of yourself. You do. Magenta says, Melissa Duncan, hey girl, hey. Shastina says, I think Narcula is a psychopath, and I think, Shastina, you might be right. Have you seen those videos I did on psychopaths? Check them out, honey. Malta says, good morning to Melina. And Misty Trinkle says, me too, Nick Bro. Tina Martin says, to Nick Bro, were the cops unhelpful? That's a good question. Tommy D says, learning their moves helps us see them coming. Nick Bro says to Misty Trinkle, excuse me, I know it's necessary, but it's embarrassing. I feel you. But, you know, your life is so much more important than embarrassment. And you and I both know that the narcissist would be happy to embarrass you in public as often as possible. So keep that in mind. This is temporary. Just stick to your guns, my friend. Magenta said, Melina is here. What up, Melina? Hair Changes Color says, I could give a blank what my ex-narc is doing and with who. Good for you. She says, I used to worry about this all the time. Now I realize he cares about no one but himself, so who cares what supply he has? Exactly. Tommy D says, Angie's videos are very educational. Thank you, my friend. Ho Bradford says, it doesn't matter if they can help it or not. The actions are real and cruel, so that's their wagon to pull. Don't be their punching bag. They sure won't allow you to treat them that way. I want to read that again because, Hope, that is a very insightful comment. Listen up. It doesn't matter if they can help it or not. This is regarding the people who feel sorry for their narcissist for being unable to help themselves with their behavior. She says their actions are real and cruel, so that's their wagon to pull. Don't be their punching bag. They sure won't allow you to treat them that way. Okay? I'm 100% with you. Hands up, Hope. I'm with you. All right. Tammy Kingery says, Tommy D, why do I keep thinking I'm missing out on something? This too shall pass, right? Yeah. FOMO, girl, FOMO, fear of missing out. It is temporary, okay? It is because you're thinking that because you've been with that person so long and you are addicted to him in the same way as, in the same part of your brain as cocaine and alcohol addiction. That's how you're addicted to the narcissist. It's the same part of your brain, and the neurotransmitters back and forth between, they're not connecting the way they're supposed to. Things aren't happening the way they're supposed to. Look at my videos on this stuff. It's real. you're literally addicted to him in the same way that you would be addicted to a drug. So somebody earlier was saying Stop the Chaos was saying 15 minutes. She's making herself wait 15 minutes and before she did. So give yourself 15 minutes and push forward. You know what I mean? This too will pass. Yes, ma'am. It's just like getting over an addiction. Nick Bro says to Tina Martin, yes, they were, but it made me feel trashy. I feel you. But don't let that stop you from getting the help that you need, okay? Because it's not you who's trashy, my friend. It's not you. Stop the Chaos says, right, sacrificing ourselves for his disorder isn't fair. I agree. I can't believe in my heart that he's intentionally like this, but either way, it's toxic and not healthy for my little family. Exactly. Sacrificing ourselves for this disorder is not fair. That is a very insightful statement, and it is the truth. Even if you can't believe in your heart that they are not intentionally, or that they are not intentionally this way, or that they are intentionally, if you can't believe that they are intentionally this way, it's still toxic and it's not healthy for you, your kids, anybody else you're around. Absolutely. Bonnie says, even some Alzheimer's can be dangerous to be around in some severe circumstances. Sad but true. Yeah. Same with some narcissistic personality disorders. That's the truth. Dolores Lundberg, hey girl, hey. She says, my heart is singing after having lunch yesterday with my former flying monkey daughter. With my former flying monkey daughter. She figured it out on her own, taking my life one day at a time. Girl, Dolores, that's amazing. I know how devastated you were. I'm so happy to hear that. That is great. Great news. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Thank you. That just does my heart so much good. I'm so, so glad. Misty Trinkle says, Nick Bro, yep, I've had to do that about 4 times last month. My narc is finally acting a bit civil. Be cautious. There's usually a Hoover in there somewhere when the civility comes back. Arlene Robertson says, happy day to all my sweet thrivers. I'm 67 today. It is your birthday, Arlene. And she says that I am blessed for each new day. Get ready, y'all. I'm about to sing to Arlene. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arlene. Happy birthday to you. Hands up for Arlene, everybody. Sing happy birthday. Say happy birthday to Arlene. All right. Magenta says, Arlene, I hope you have a wonderful day, by the way. Magenta says to Dolores, yay, how nice to have her back, so to speak. Yeah, for real. Oops, wait a minute. Lost my place. Okay. Misty says to Nick Bro, yep. Okay, I already had that one. Okay. Arlene. Okay. Nick Bro says, siblings mad since you were born? Yes. Older sister, 10 years older, resentful. I'm like, take it up with God. Okay. Yeah, totally. Tammy Kingery says, hope you were so right. They wouldn't allow us to treat them that way. That's right. That's right. And remembering that is important. Tommy D says, this too shall pass. You are missing out on a real, true, happy life without them. You are missing out on a controlling life of misery. Yeah. Yeah. Renee Goodall says, my mom is an alcoholic. My dad was, but in a nursing home with his Alzheimer's. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Christy Evans says, my narc ex-husband can exhaust me in just 5 minutes. It takes me a while to recover. He uses his health issues to play on my emotions. That is certainly an unfortunate situation. And if I'm you, I'm looking for the door as soon as possible because I have experienced that same kind of thing. I could be in the best mood all day long that I've ever been in, and my narcissist back then could just 1 or 2 words shut me right down, and I was, just deflated. I understand completely. Breon says, to stay in reality, I do not allow myself to entertain any positive thoughts about my ex-narcissist. I will always view him as the deranged, evil, unremorseful piece of shit he is. No sympathy from me. I think that is very insightful as well. And I think if that's what you need to do to stay focused and stay in reality, that's what you should do. Do not romanticize the narcissist in your head. It's so easy to do it. And we've all talked about this. It's very easy to do that. I've done it. We've all done it. But like Breon says, to stay in reality, he does not allow himself to entertain any positive thoughts about the narcissist. Always views him as the deranged, evil, unremorseful piece of shit that he is. It's real stuff, guys. It's real stuff. All right. Nick Bro says to Misty Trinkle, I know it sucks. Paula Webb, hey Paula Webb, says, the ex moved in with another woman in June, texted me through a mutual friend to say I'm breaking up with her. It's been hell lately. You were right. What? Then adds, wait a minute. Where's Paula? I lost her. Hold on. Wait a second. Okay. Then added, she says, and she is an intelligent girl. He thinks I'm a retard and tells obvious lies. She takes me as a fool. Wow. Wow. Well, please don't tolerate that. That sounds like a Hoover to me, my friend. It sounds like somebody who wants him to. It sounds like he wants you to come back to him and don't. Oh, she texts. Okay, whoever this person is, he or she, don't assume anything. Don't be hoovered. Don't be sucked in. Yeah. Shastina says, Tammy, right. Yeah. Yeah. Dolores says, yes, it is the best thing to happen to me this year. Thank you. Oh, Dolores, that makes me so happy to hear that. Jillian says, the worst thing that can happen with the restraining order is being denied in most cases. Occasionally, I've seen attorneys arguing in court that the restraining order wasn't granted, so the person seeking it overreacted. Sometimes that damages credibility in front of the judge, so I would think about what the danger is and how much the restraining order is needed and proceed from there. For those who don't know, Jillian is an attorney, a family attorney who is also a survivor and has dealt with this stuff. So I'm going to read that one more time for you. The worst thing that can happen with the restraining order is being denied in most cases. Occasionally, I've seen attorneys arguing in court that the restraining order wasn't granted, so the person seeking it overreacted. Sometimes that damages credibility in front of the judge. So I would think about what the danger is and how much the restraining order is needed and proceed from there. Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, good morning, Miss Rachel. How are you? Rachel Campbell's in the house. Hey, Rachel. Okay, Nick Bro says, Nick Bro says, yes, I started drinking anything I could to get my hands on to cope with him. Yeah, exactly. Tommy D says, Christy, that's typical. Try the observe, don't absorb technique. Jillian says, I already said that one. Okay. Try and Stop Me Mate says, should you ever take back someone who once sided with a narcissist? A friend came back to me months later after she realized the smear campaign was full of lies. Absolutely. Magenta says, Dolores, my girl is 16 and lives with her dad. Wait a minute. Let me come back here. Try and Stop Me Mate says, should you ever take back someone who once sided with a narc? A friend came back to me months later and realized the smear campaign was full of lies. Okay. I think that if the friend comes back to you and acknowledges that they were duped and apologizes and asks you to be their friend again, then cautiously you can accept. I wouldn't be telling any secrets or anything until you're 100% sure that it's legit. And I would also consider whether the friend was someone who was your friend or the narcissist friend first. Because if they were your friend first, there's a chance that it's all legit. But even so, you would still want to be careful and not tell any secrets right away. If it was a narcissist friend's first, I would just steer clear because they're not going to most likely stop being the narcissist friend. Magenta says, Dolores, my girl is 16 and lives with her dad. She's starting to put it together now on her own too. I'm so grateful. Very good. Very good news, Magenta. I'm so happy to hear that. Alexander A. here. Hi, Alexander A. How are you? Says, hi, I feel my boyfriend is passive aggressive, a blame shifter, very angry person, and always talks about ex-girlfriends. Always. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar. I'm glad you're here. Thank you and welcome. Tammy Kingery says, Tommy D, you're right. Thank you. Christy Evans says, thanks, Tommy D. Nick Bro says to Christy Banner, my therapist said he was a sociopath. I didn't listen and they don't get better. Yeah. Rachel Campbell says, talk about a magnet. I attract narcissistic people like crazy. And I hate that I'm not even trying to. I'm just glad that I know what was manipulative behavior. I'm just glad that I know what manipulative behavior, and they play you and the games. They play you and the games. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing, Rachel, it's not your fault. The situation is this. We are all narc magnets because we're nice people, is what it comes down to. We are people who are wired by nature to react to anyone's strong emotions to try to help them feel better, right? That is what makes us so attracted to the narcissist, and lots of other things. I've done a video recently, like in the last few weeks, called "Why the Narc Picked You." Watch that. Research it and watch it. I mean, search it in my channel and watch it. That will be helpful for you, because it's because you're kind of awesome that the narcissist chose you ultimately, and you'll see that. Yeah, but boundaries are important. Okay, I'm going to read one or two more statements, and then I'm going to have to hit off because I'm running behind again today. But hopefully we'll get through this. Okay, Renee Goodell says, my sister is also an alcoholic. I loaned her thousands of dollars last year for her to pay her mortgage. I know I'll never see it again. I'm the one that doesn't drink, but codependent, which she says, Renee, wait, oh, jeez. Hold on, I'll just find it this way. Okay. I'm working on it, she says. Okay. She, how frustrating, how frustrating. Did she say that she would pay you back and she didn't, or did she ever, what was the deal with that? Let me know, Renee. Rachel Campbell says, they play, oh, that makes more sense. Thank you. Abby Maldonado says, yeah, I want to leave him. It's been difficult. I helped him through recovery because of an opiate addiction. He was sober for over a year, couldn't work. I took care of him, but he's, yeah, Abby, I think you know what you want to do and what you need to do. You cannot fix them if they don't want to be fixed. If you've tried to help him through all of this and you're still being abused, sounds like he was sober for over a year, which means he's not sober now. That probably is a big red flag as well. Stop the Chaos says, I'm well aware I seem like I'm all over the place emotionally today. That's exactly how I feel. It's wishy-washy mania today. So frustrating. Pick a feeling, girl. Give yourself a break. Stop the Chaos. You can't, none of us are perfect, and none of us can always be in exactly the right emotional place, okay? I have bad days still today that I'm just like, oh my God, everything sucks. I told you told you that the other day. But sometimes you just have to just get through the day, okay? And today might be one of those days for you. Let it happen if you need that break. Don't feel so stressed out, honey. You're doing the very best that you can. Give yourself a break, okay? Love yourself a little bit harder today. Here's what I'm going to say to you about that. And this is okay. I want to say this about your, sorry, I got to read another comment. This is the last thing I'm going to say today, guys. When you feel the way that Stop the Chaos feels today, where you're feeling completely alone in the world, you're feeling sad, you're going up and you're going down, you're on a roller coaster of emotions, give yourself a break. Treat yourself how you would treat someone you love in the same situation, right? So if your child or your friend or your sister or your niece or whatever, or your brother, whatever, friend would come to you and say, this is how I'm feeling, and you could do something to fix that for them, what would you say? What would you do for that person? Do those same things for yourself, because you deserve that. And what we learn the hard way sometimes is that the only person, if we don't love ourselves that hard, no one else is going to be able to even see us to love us hard enough. You know what I mean? You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. And it's something that feels foreign to us. It does. But it becomes a beautiful thing, and it helps to strengthen you against those sorts of attacks, those narcissistic attacks, those people who just don't help you feel any, the trolls, the rude people, the toxic people, the person who flips you off on the highway because they cut you off and you're mad about it or whatever. Let yourself have the feelings today, stop the chaos, and tomorrow move forward and do better. One step at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you have to. You're going to get through this. We're going to be here with you while you do, okay? All right, guys, I'm wrapping up for today. Hugs and love to each and every one of you today. I know that some of you are really struggling, but I want you to just keep it in mind. It gets a little better every single day. It does. Thank you so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life. Thank you for letting me be a part of yours. It means a lot to me. I hope you know that. I'll be back later today with another video, and I'll be here tomorrow for our usual Friday morning awesomeness. All right? Hugs and love to y'all. See you soon.